We like to think we have it all figured out. We build our lives around efficiency, convinced that our rational minds are fully in charge of the decisions we make every single day. But beneath that polished surface, we are heavily influenced by impulses that operate completely outside of our awareness. As psychologist Carl Jung noted, our ancient gods and demons never actually left us, they just took on new names. Today, they manifest as chronic restlessness, vague anxieties, and an insatiable need to self-medicate. The sheer volume of neuroses in the modern world is proof that we haven't outgrown our primal instincts. We've simply buried them, proving just how little control our conscious minds actually hold. At 83 years old, Carl Jung experienced a highly specific dream. It convinced him to spend his final days translating his complex psychological framework into a language everyday people could understand. He realized that personal fulfillment is impossible if we only engage with the waking half of our minds. We have to actively reckon with the unconscious. His final work, Man and His Symbols, provides a systematic translation of the cryptic symbols our minds send us every night, turning confusing dreams into meaningful data for the waking self. Often, we treat the unconscious as a dark basement where we shove our discarded thoughts. But Jung saw it as an active guide, a friend, and a crucial counselor to the waking mind. To actually use that counselor, we have to establish a two-way street of communication, and the primary language of that exchange is our dreams. The sleeping mind frequently translates complex biological states into structural architecture, mapping the human body as a house. If you dream about that house suddenly catching fire, it's using a specific symbol to signal a rising physical fever. These nightly visions are never random noise. They are dense data packets wrapped in a highly personal code that requires you to actively interpret the imagery. To understand the mechanics of this interpretation, Jung looked toward the hard sciences, specifically the work of quantum physicist Niels Bohr. Bohr's principle of complementarity suggests that two opposites can actually form a single complete system. Jung applied this to the mind, seeing the conscious and unconscious as contraries that must exist together but can never be fully seen at once. Bringing a dream into our awareness filters it, altering the raw, original content the second it's observed. And the reaction goes both ways. Absorbing that symbolic meaning forces your conscious mind to expand and physically rewire itself in response. Just as physicists can never observe raw matter entirely on its own, we can never truly see our raw unconscious. We only get to experience the explosive new reality created when the two halves finally collide. Jung had a very specific term for this lifelong process of internal collision and integration. He called it individuation. It requires the waking mind and the hidden mind to slowly map each other out, learning to respect their differences and finally accommodate one another in daily life. Long before modern psychology, ancient cultures mapped this internal harmony, seen clearly in this close-up of a traditional Tibetan mandala. The human mind reaches its full potential when these opposing forces drop their hostilities and actively complete each other. Reaching this state of psychological integration remains the essential requirement for any human seeking genuine tranquility, fertility, and happiness. When that balance is achieved, the sterile, shadowed anxiety that defines so much of modern life is replaced by a sense of genuine wholeness. Recognizing the stakes, Jung dedicated his final, failing energy to editing this very manual. He finished the core manuscript a mere 10 days before he passed away. He left behind the tools we need to decode our own minds. By learning to read our dreams, we gain an antidote to our modern neuroses and a map to navigate the vast quantum depths of our own psychology.